2-minute noodles. You know, my son got addicted to them, to be honest. Yep, he did. And I remember, years ago, he's now 25, I'm talking years and years ago, I finally found some good quality 2-minute noodles, some buckwheat noodles that were mixed with rice. And I found another type of noodle and I was like, oh my gosh, it's actually possible to have good quality 2-minute noodles. And it is. And what I've done over the years is I've pimped them up. And this is a great recipe for our children, and this is a great recipe for us too. So once I was single, before BS, before Scott, get it? BS. Before Scott, and this is something would definitely be on my radar after working all day and coming home. It's quick, it's easy, and it's fast. And I've come across, once again, some good quality, 2-minute noodles, which you're after. And it doesn't matter particularly what brand they are, as long as they're that 2-minute noodle looking situation of glory. This is a mix of buckwheat, rice and amaranth. I don't want this. I know, right? Even though it's a good quality noodle, I'm not interested in that. That can go in the bin. I'm going to show you how to make a really sensational broth that's going to just blow your mind, because it's done with whole real food. And when you have things on the shelf like sesame seed oil, tamari, dried mushrooms, when it's just around you, we gravitate there. When you eat like this, something emerges from you. When you open that packet of broth, you go, something's not right there. There's a different intensity that's happening in that packet than there is with home cooking. There is something about cooking at home. There is something about making this at home in presence of all these amazing things. Something emerges from you. Something really does. It's quite cool to watch. I have got these veggies here. This could be any veggie you have in your fridge. I just happen to have some random spinach, some random broccoli, some random mushrooms and carrot and capsicum. Very simple. Of course, I've got herbs, because herbs are a huge part of the building blocks of flavour when it comes to having vegetarian or vegan food. It's quite amazing, actually, how herbs can just pile it on, right? Something happens. We just made a fast nachos before, and all those herbs on there just blows your taste buds out the door. And they have such an amazing effect on the organs as well. We love them. Our bodies just crave green. It just has this ability to soak it all up. It just feels good even talking about it, actually. The first thing you're going to do is, I have some dried mushrooms on my shelf. Now, this is what I was saying before in my other videos. Oh, yeah. Got to open those. Having stuff like this on your shelf and not knowing what to do with it. This is how you make your own broth. Now, another friend of mine has mushrooms, dried shiitake mushrooms on her shelf, and she's had them there for about 6 months. And then when I showed her this recipe, she was like, really? Really? Oh, they still smell fabulous. And now they're a part of her whole foods pantry, which is awesome, right? It's a whole food. So that's going to go straight into my pot, and I'm going to go straight over here to the stove, and I want to create the broth. And remember, we haven't opened that packet. I've got some boiling water here already because I'm fast tracking the situation. I mean, you could boil the jug at home. I don't have a jug, but I'm going to add water to it. And I want to start building now of how I'm going to do this. I know how much water to add because I'm used to 2-minute noodles. So you're going to add the same amount of water what you would normally use with 2-minute noodles. And now I'm going to add my tamari. I'm going to add some sesame seed oil. Just a little, just a little. Gee, I hope this is sesame seed oil. Yes, it is. How clever am I? Gun gun. And I want to grate some ginger into this. Yay. I've been grating some ginger all week. Now, I'm not going to peel it. This is washed. It's been sitting there. I used it in the last recipe, so I know exactly what I'm dealing with. And if you get organic ginger, please don't peel it. Just wash it really well. If you didn't have fresh ginger and you have dried ginger, just add a little bit at a time because it's quite concentrated dried ginger. This is how you get to use up your ginger. If you buy some from the market and you've got quite a lot of it like this, and it's raining outside, which it is today, I'm going to make a broth out of this. Forget the 2-minute noodles, just make a beautiful broth, a very quick broth. It's just gorgeous. Great. Now we're going to taste this to see where we're at. And what we're looking for is flavour, simply flavour. And do I like the flavour? This is the question you need to ask yourself. Oh my gosh, I love the flavour. It is beautiful. I want more ginger, for sure. Fabulous. And I'm going to add a little bit of miso in here because I have some very light shiro miso. Can you guys smell this?
Yep.
All the way from over there? Can you smell it at home? I hope so. When you'll make yours, it's just going to shock you how amazing this is. Imagine if it was smell-o-vision. That really well combined. All right, it's time to add our 2-minute noodles into this now. When to add the veggies? Just before the noodles are cooked. Like, you don't want to cook these for very long at all. Those mushrooms are starting to rehydrate. We're sucking all that yumminess from this broth into its beautiful flesh. Look at it now. It's amazing, isn't it? I got a message, when was it? About, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and someone messaged me on Instagram and said, oh my God, I'm so glad I found you. I was looking for a healthy version of 2-minute noodles because my son is addicted to the broth packet of a crappy packet of 2-minute noodles. And she goes, I found your recipe. And I wrote back to her and I said, let me know how you go with it. And she wrote back probably, I think it was like 2 weeks later, she goes, he is just in love with it. It's like nothing's happened. He doesn't like all the vegetables. He only likes certain ones. He likes corn. He likes peas. He can't stand broccoli, hates mushrooms. He doesn't mind carrots, doesn't like capsicum, right? But she added all the veggies that he loved. And I thought that was really clever. It was the broth that he was happy with, and he's still getting that same sensation. She went to a Whole Foods store and got a good packet of 2-minute noodles that were made from, I think they were made from rice. I'm not sure, red rice and buckwheat, I'm pretty sure, something like that. And if you're watching this, lovely human, well done to you. This is exactly what I teach, is taking the mundane, normal, average, common garden vegetables and really shining them and really looking at them going, that's not normal, that's not common, this is nature, this is what we are, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's so cool what's happening out there now. I remember when Jamin was little, I'd go into my local supermarket and there'll be probably about, like, he's 25 now, there'll probably be about this much of a section of organic stuff, right? Seriously, way back in the day. Now there's a whole aisle and there's bits in other aisles and I'm just like, oh yes. And it's the power of the wallet, right? That every time we put our money somewhere, we're voting for something. And I've been voting for a long time and I'm happy to say it's actually coming true, like it really is. Hey, it's quite amazing. Just even simple things like Rapadura sugar, spelt flour, kamut flour, you know, Himalayan salt, now you can get in big bags. Like, I'm just stoked. And when we buy noodles like this, 2-minute noodles like this, that have quality, that are full of, you know, buckwheat and amaranth and rice and all the things, we are voting for something quite extraordinary. So these are nearly cooked. And now I'm going to add in some more mushrooms because I had them, some broccoli, some capsicum, some carrot. I'm going to keep my spinach to last. And the more greens you can get in there, the better. This is going to take probably another minute. All right, we're good to go. We're good to go. Have a taste. Oh yeah, we're on. I'm going to add that spinach in. Turn off the heat. Bring it over to my bench. And let's pimp it up some more with some more plants. My 16-year-old son would eat 2 packets of this with all of this in there. Kids just eat, right? They can't stop eating. They're growing, you know. Oh yeah, baby. Get in there. Get in there. Just strain this broth off for a minute. Now where's those big dried mushrooms? There they are. Geez, they're meaty, aren't they? So much flavour in these. They're very hot, so be careful. And I just want to slice them thinly like this. Now, if your kids don't like mushrooms, just use it as a broth, part of it, and you eat them later. And don't put the mushrooms in. We don't want to annoy them, our kids. Now we're going to pimp it up with some spring onions. Just slice them into rounds. And I also want some coriander because I just love it and I want it. And I want some sprouts as well because they're there and they're abundant. There we go. Pimped up 2-minute noodles, a couple of chopsticks. Sit that there so you can see that. That looks divine. That is just, my taste buds are just popping in my mouth right now. This is sensational. Oh, I'm so pleased to share this with you. And I'm so glad that that amazing human that wrote to me on Insta a month or so ago, telling me she had found this recipe. This is so cool. Fall in love with the idea that 2-minute noodles don't have to be bad and there's no food fight here. We're just finding and putting our money where the quality is. That's all we're doing. It just happens to be called 2-minute noodles. These are plants and they fit perfectly well inside your body and your organs know exactly what to do with this. When I'm on stage teaching in front of an audience, I always connect them to the 2 things. Where thoughts go, energy flows. And I actually get everybody in the audience to do this, and I'd love you to do it too. Where thoughts go, energy flows. And as I do this, it's flowing through my organs. So when I'm eating something and I'm going, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that, or I shouldn't have done that, what you need to do is bring that back into line and think to yourself, is this the right food choice? Is this food choice in its whole form? Yes. Is it making me feel satiated? Yes. That is a great thought to have when you're eating. And it is a beautiful thing to witness because ease comes in the body and you feel, trust me, a lot more calmer on yourself because we are very hard on ourselves these days with all the stresses of life going on out there in the world. So where thoughts go, energy flows, and when you're eating and chewing food, remember, it is actually not a privilege to eat, it's a right to eat, and it's a beautiful thing.